YouTube. Listening to some Stomping Tom Connors. Pretty sure the only people watching these really are, people I know. But if you're not from Canada, Google Stomping Tom Connors. Listen to a few of his songs. He's one of the greatest folk musicians of all time, and he's an absolute Canadian gem. But I'm driving the Lincoln Continental, the car that you look at, you don't really quite know, is it supposed to be a town car? And I love this car. I genuinely love this car. I wouldn't put it top 5 because I have some incredible. I'm talking with an accent, I think. I've been watching a bunch of fucking British television, and I guess I'm talking with a fucking accent, like a fucking. But either way, I love this car. I wouldn't put it top 5 because I have some incredible fucking cars in that top 5. But I absolutely love it, and it's a piece of shit. And I think the reason I love it is because it is a piece of shit. It's a 2001 Lincoln Continental. It's like 350,000 miles on it. Talking with an accent again. It's a V8, 275 horsepower. It's either 275 or 280 pounds of torque. I've been told it's both. But I love it, and I think so. I've always said it's the flaws that a car has that gives it its character. The seat in this thing is broken, so the seat doesn't move backwards and forwards. And when I bought it, I was like, I didn't fit in it. It was too small, and I tried to get it fixed. I literally paid a guy to try and fix it. It can't be fixed. He literally told me the only option is to not just rip the seat out, but the rails. I'd have to rip the rails out and put new rails in and put a whole new seat in, and it would cost like 4 or 5 times what the fucking car's worth. And but so the solution was the seat won't move backwards and forwards, but it will lean backwards. So I have the seat all the way backwards, and it actually became really comfortable. One of the most comfortable cars I've had. Because the seat's so far back, and I'm literally sitting at an angle like that. If you were in an office chair and you leaned the office chair back, that's how I'm sitting, and it ends up being very comfortable, and I like it a lot. It'll roast the tires. It has this rear air suspension that it works, but one of the bags is leaking, so the car will slowly tilt towards the passenger rear when the car's off because the bag leaks out. And you can firm the suspension or you can soften the suspension. When you soften the suspension, it becomes an uncontrollable boat. If you are going into a bend and you turn at the bend, you are going off the road. You have to turn before the bend. The suspension is that bad in plush mode. But it's comfortable. You can't feel a bump at all. But it's just deadly bad. And then I also discovered that you can adjust the steering. And if you put it to I can't recall what this setting is, but you can make it so that it's literally the smoothest car I've ever had. Tip of your finger, you can steer this car, and it's not like, oh yeah, but I bet it's not as responsive. No, you can literally you can move it with your tip of your finger and get instant response steering. It's brilliant steering. I don't use that setting. I also discovered that you can turn the power steering off, basically. Not completely, but basically. And the end result is that going around a bend or an intersection at slow speeds, you're fighting the steering wheel. And I love it. I genuinely love it. I do. It's such a stupid thing that I made the car worse and I like it more. So I basically drive with the power steering 75% off because I like it better that way. Another thing is the sunroof above my head. That's actually a positive. Sunroofs are good. And I did not realize the music was still playing. But I guess this video is not getting this video is getting flagged. But yeah, the sunroof. I absolutely love the sunroof, and it's one of those things, like, I don't have hair, so I kind of keep thinking that I'll get sunburnt, so I won't use the sunroof. Fuck that. I use the sunroof. It's winter. If it is not freezing cold, actually, fuck that. Even when it's freezing cold, if it's not raining, the sunroof is open. But what I like about the sunroof is it opens fine. It doesn't shut on its own. So when the sunroof gets about halfway closed, you have to start pushing it closed as you're hitting the shut button. And that little bit of character just makes me love it a little bit more. And honestly, like I said, I genuinely love this car. And if this car was rear-wheel drive with a 5-speed manual, it would be one of my absolute favorite cars. It's an absolute fucking beauty, and I love it. And there's other quirks, like it has an air horn, and the air horn sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, and I'm not entirely sure why. Like I'll use it, what? And it won't work for like 4 hours, and then it'll randomly start working again. I don't get it. But yeah, like, it's just the little itty-bitty things that, like, I've got a light bar on it because the headlights are terrible. I cleaned the headlights and they're still so fucking dangerously dull that I had to put a light bar underneath the grill because I need it at night, otherwise I can't fucking see. Love it. I'm gonna put a CB in with a cheap, shitty antenna, just so that me and my wife, because we have 2 cars now, so we can talk on the rare instance that we're not in the same car for some reason. So probably we'll use it once and then never use it again. But it's got an air horn. I literally just talked about the air horn. So it has a 6-disc CD player and a tape deck. I love the tape deck. Tape decks, I love tape decks. Tapes are better than CDs. Fight me. I'm right. You're wrong. Fuck off. I love tape decks. I've got the briefcase. I've got 2 briefcases of tapes in this car. But right now, I've got one of those tape cassettes that has, like, the cord on it, so you can plug your phone into your tape deck. But I've got it plugged in to a fucking $20 Amazon AM/FM radio that I've hooked up, like, literally hanging on the dashboard of the car. And I plug a USB stick into that into that little AM/FM radio, which is then connected to the tape deck, so that I can listen to my country playlist in my car. Like I said, it's the little bits of character that I genuinely feel make the car. Like, if you ask me about my Trans Am, I might talk about the posi track, I might talk about the T-tops, but if the conversation goes longer than 2 minutes, I'm talking about the fact that you could either have the heat on or the defogger on, and they both worked, but if you used them at the same time, the car caught fire. It was one of my absolute favorite features about the car. When I first bought the car, the seat wasn't welded or wasn't bolted down, so you'd go flying back when you accelerated. The bits that are wrong are what give a car character, and it is what makes me love cars the most. So this car, $900, absolute piece of shit. Like, it's front wheel drive. It's got a slush box. The parking brake doesn't work. How could you like that car, Zach? It's no fun. Or Cadillac Kid. It's no fun. I love it. I love this car. Peace, YouTube.